Your inner being is not an idea. We would call it an inner idea. It's an inner being, an inner beingness. Your inner being bees. Your inner being is consciousness who bees. Consciousness who is life, who is eternal, who bees. So this inner being has taken all of the expansion that you have offered it through the living of life and is not holding back ever like you may be. So when you're beating the drum of justification or defense or rationalization, well, I feel this way because that happened to me and it shouldn't have happened to me, and that was an injustice that should not have happened, and so I'm just going to stand here in my righteous indignation and join others in my protest against the government or in my protest against this absurd policy that has just happened at work. Do you know they gave us a bonus and then they took it back? It's just ridiculous that they're making all that money and they're not giving nearly enough of it to me, and I'm working so hard and I don't think they are. That righteous indignation is justified maybe, and maybe everybody in your company and beyond would agree with you, but your inner being isn't agreeing with you, and that's the only agreement that is ever important to you. Your inner being stays in a place of positive expectation. No, not positive expectation, because expectation implies it is something yet to come. In positive beingness, because your inner being bees there and does not deviate from it. But when you aren't up to speed with your inner being, then you feel the deviation. Light, slight, severe, strong, that's what negative emotion is. It's your indicator that you're not up to speed with your expansion. Negative emotion is telling you two things. It's telling you first that you're not up to speed, but it's telling you something else really, really important that we so want you to hear. It's telling you you have expanded, the bigger part of you has expanded beyond where you're practiced. Don't you like knowing that? I have expanded beyond what I have learned to allow. Well, you know what that means? If you've expanded beyond what you have learned to allow, that means there's some good times coming to you, because the deliciousness of life, the true essence of life, the part of life that you call exhilaration or adventure, the part of life that you call passion, the part of life that you climb mountains for or that you get into new relationships for, the part of life that you were born for, the part of life that you love the most of all is that moving in the direction of the further expansion. And we really want you to hear us when we say moving in the direction of it, because moving in the direction of it is all that you're ever going to do, because you're never going to catch it. Oh. That doesn't seem right. I'm never going to catch up with who I am. Not really. Because there will always be more that will cause you to expand. And so if you can come to the place where you savor the problem as deliberately and deliciously as you savor the solution, now you're rocking and rolling. Because you can't have a solution without a problem, and you can't have expansion without asking, and you can't ask without contrast, and you can't be alive without that. You can't be here in this physical format without life causing you to know more clearly all day, every day, what you would prefer. So you got that, didn't you? Do you understand that the vibration of a question and the vibration of an answer are different frequencies? But the answer is born from the question. Do you understand that the frequency, the vibrational frequency of a solution is different than the frequency of the problem? But they are tied together in this vibrational wave. In other words, they are equal parts of the same concept. It's why humans talk about duality. We don't follow that conversation too fully, because it takes you off on all kinds of wild goose chases. But it is so nice to know that you are constantly expanding, and that everything you feel, no matter what, is about one thing and one thing only. It's about your personal, in this moment of the feeling, vibrational relationship with that expanded version. Sometimes over the years, Esther has said, as she's standing in a place not feeling so good, and as she's been listening to us long enough to know that the worse she feels, the better we feel. What's up with that? If you were really a non-physical entity that was worth its salt, you'd have empathy for me and you'd come over here and comfort me. And we say, that's the thing that you got to understand and accept and come to adore about your inner being. Your inner being takes the expansion and holds that place marker for you so that you can come into vibrational frequency with it. That's what guidance system is. Esther would say from time to time, Abraham, I think you should come over here and complain with me because you know I'm right. You know I'm justified in this complaint. And we say to Esther, we're not coming. Come over here. No, you come over here. Come over here. No, you come over here. And of course, through the years, she's discovered we never come. So, what we're suggesting is that rather than letting an unwanted event train your vortex, train your vibration away from the vortex, train your vibration into compliance with unwanted things, where you just sort of go along with it because it's happening, we want you to be aware that you have the power of focus. And we want you to be aware that when you know what you don't want a little bit, you put its equivalent in your vortex. So when you sort of don't want something, you sort of want something, and that sort of wanted thing goes into your vortex. It's equivalent. It's the specifics of what you do want are equivalent to the specifics of what you don't want, and other way around. So by the time you've built something into this pathway of what you really don't want, you have, without knowing it, constructed a really specific what you do want over here in your vortex of creation. We call this vortex of creation, it's the bounce and the holding place where the evolved version of you is held in vibrational readiness for your attention to it. It's there. Now, if you're talking about manifestations, then you're probably not all that interested in these vibrational thought ways that have been carved out. But we want you to understand that the vibrational thought way that you've carved out is going to manifest depending upon where you eventually light in terms of your vibrational readiness.